was really a nice Drew Holiday, and Damian Jones was a pretty good Anthony Davis. Yeah, we decided we couldn't have Jaron Collins as Anthony Davis. He's normally our big guy, but there was just such a disparity in talent that we just couldn't have Jaron as AD.
And Steph, how much of practice?
Steph practiced 100%. He did everything.
What would you say is that for game one?
I would say he's questionable for game one. I think what we have to do is see how his body responds the rest of the day. Put him through another practice tomorrow. I think he needs to string together a few good days, but yeah, it was very positive.
Was this a contact practice or contact?
It was contact. Okay. It was. We didn't really scrimmage, but we had some contact. We had a little bit of up and down, kind of controlled scrimmage type stuff.
He was trying out the other day some different braces. I see he has one on there.
Yeah, I don't know.
He discussed that with the training staff, or just do what works for him?
Yeah, all that stuff is between him and the training staff. So
did Steph look like he was able to cut and do everything at the speed he wanted to, or?
Yeah, he looked great.
Has he started the full court press yet?
What? To full court press me? Not yet. I know it's coming.
Are you surprised at where he is now? I mean, considering a few days ago.
No, I think it's been coming along pretty well. I mean, when we were in San Antonio and I was asked the question about how he was doing, I think that was a legitimate answer. He was doing great, but we hadn't ramped him up yet. So I think today was an important day because it's the first time he's actually gone live action. He's made it through practice, or I shouldn't put it that way. It's not that he made it through practice, so he was allowed to go through practice. And he appears fine.
You were going to spend, Steve, a lot of time yesterday on the Pelicans. What are your impressions after doing some of that work?
Yeah, coaching staff was here all day yesterday getting ready, putting together our game plan. Totally different series from what we just faced. Very much about pace. They like to get out and run, whereas the Spurs are more of a half-court team. So it's an adjustment, a big adjustment, and obviously Davis is one of the best players on earth, and got a lot of guys around him who can really play. Holiday's playing at an all-star level. Rondo is Rondo. And Mirotic changed their team when he arrived from Chicago. So we pretty much threw out all 3 game tapes prior to Mirotic's arrival. Those don't mean anything to us. Once he arrived, the whole team went through.
What changed with Mirotic's arrival in your mind the most? How did he?
Floor spacing, 3-point shooting. This is an Alvin Gentry type team. Alvin was together with Mike D'Antoni in Phoenix. And, a four-man who can stretch the floor, and a big man who can dive to the rim and dunk, and a bunch of guys who can shoot, and good point guard play. This team really suits Alvin's eye. They found a nice groove.
Steve, with that, what extra dimension does Rondo and Holiday provide? Just given this kind of along the thoughts of it, it's not like you can just worry about the front court.
Well, it's multiple playmakers in the backcourt. It's always hard to guard 2 different guys who can handle screen and roll. But that's what you're looking at. Both guys very effective in pick and roll. So when one guy's off the floor, the other guy, they always have a point guard threat on the floor. So as I said, they're playing extremely well.
What is it about Alvin that made your guys' partnership so strong? That made you guys work so well together?
We just like each other. We like being around each other. Alvin's got a great sense of humor, and so we were only together coaching for a year. But I was in Phoenix as GM when he was on the staff, and then became our head coach for a year and a half, I think, while I was GM. So we've got to know each other really well. Love his family. Just love what Alvin's about. He takes his job seriously, but not himself, and great sense of humor, fun to be around.
When you took over here, was it kind of a no-brainer to bring him in as your
Alvin was my first call. When I I interviewed for the job, he was the guy I had in mind. If I was able to get this job, I was going to try to bring him on board, and it worked out perfectly. So he came up and really helped install our offense and taught me a lot about what I needed to be ready for as a head coach. And I would say Alvin was critical for my growth as a head coach and for our team's growth that first year, because I had never done it before and he had so much experience.
Do you feel you understand their offense even better given your guys' history together?
Not really. Not really. It's a pattern that a lot of teams use nowadays. High screens, a dive man, a bunch of three-point shooting. They're doing it really well, but it doesn't give us any advantage. I think Milt Snodgrass has a question from the Palisades sideline.
Steve, is it true that you were not charged with any earned runs in the LA City Championship?
This is true. I'm glad you asked, Milt. A lot of people don't know this, but I pitched 4 2/3 innings in high school in the city championship game at Dodger Stadium. Yeah, Milt, you were there?
Oh, really?
You were there? Yeah.
I had a good seat.
He was covering the game for the Palisades Tide line at the time.
No way.
Yeah. And I actually did not give up an earned run, which is the good news. The bad news is I gave up 8 unearned runs because after a 2-out error, they hit like 7 straight rockets off me, including a 2-run double off the wall by a guy named Brett Saberhagen, who pitched a no-hitter against us, and we lost 13-0. So thanks for bringing that up. I appreciate it.
Yeah, were you able to slug at the plate at all?
I did not get to hit that game because we had a DH, and then the following year we played in the city championship game again. I don't know how we got on baseball. I guess it was Mills. Mills. So I did get to hit the second. That was a thrill playing baseball at Dodger Stadium.
How did you hit there?
I got a hit, 1 for 3. Nice hit. An RBI. Oh, I fouled off like 17 pitches. It was like a Brandon Belt type at bat. I had like so many fouls, and it was an epic at bat.
You're a 333 career hitter.
What's that?
You're a 333 career hitter.
At Dodger Stadium.
With no ERA.
With a 0 ERA.
The cross matches in this series are interesting and different than the series you can remember. How
this is a big defensive transition series, and anytime you got a team that's coming at you that fast, there's going to be all kinds of cross matches, and that's one of the messages. You don't have your man, you have a man, and so we've got to try to limit their transition threes, keep them in the half court more. I'm sure they're saying the same thing about us, but when you got multiple shooters out there and you make one mistake with your transition defense, it's an open 3 and that opens the game up. So we got to be sharp.
Steve, I know you said that you wouldn't reveal your starters going forward, but what are you going to be looking for out of the center starting position this series?
Same thing as any matchup. We want defense, we want rebounding, we need guys to set screens in that position, and just be solid. We got a lot of guys who can play that role and play that position, and I trust them all, and so we'll see how it all shakes out. So thank you for not asking. It's interesting the way you
You only got a chance to see Mirotić in one game this year, but he had a free game. What kind of dynamic does he bring? An extra dynamic to the team?
Well, he's a big scorer for them, and he plays with a lot of confidence and bravado. And he came in 2 weeks ago. I think he must have scored 10 points in the first quarter, hit a couple threes, got going, and but he changes the spacing. That's the biggest thing. When you have a 4-man, a little bit like Ryan Anderson, a 4-man who can step out to 30 feet and shoot threes, the whole floor opens up.
You've given a lot of credit to Mark Jackson for the defensive culture he helped build here, but Darren Erman was also really key in that, and he's now with the Pelicans. What did you think of what they did defensively against Portland? The strategy there seemed pretty impressive.
Yes, they were really good against Portland, and we've watched those games carefully and tried to see how they attack the Blazers, and you know, they obviously loaded up quite a bit on Lillard and McCollum, and did a good job of rebounding and just kind of taking Portland out of some of their stuff. And, Anthony Davis is a great center fielder. You know, he can block shots and kind of hang around the basket and thwart a drive here and there, and still get out and challenge the perimeter. So, yeah, they're really good. They had a hell of a series. I thought the staff did a really good job.
Do you think Darren's one of the better defensive minds in this league?
I don't know Darren. You know, I've just met him a few times. I know he was here with Mark, but you know, he's obviously very well respected. I mean, people. He's been on a few teams in this league, and so very well respected. But I don't know him very well personally.
They started playing Holiday off the ball this season. What's the value in that, and how do you think that helps him?
Well, it frees him up to score, and you know, he's really a combo. You know, and I think not having to assume all the point guard responsibilities is probably good for him. He can be a secondary ball handler when Rondo's on the floor, or he can take over, throw the game on the line like he did in Portland. So he's just playing at a really, really high level.
So if you could indulge us, those of us who have audio issues with our cameras at the outset, if you could express just how Steph looked today and what his status is.
Steph looked good today, practiced fully. No restrictions, and we'll upgrade him to questionable now. We'll see how he responds tomorrow physically, and we've got to put him through another practice tomorrow. We want him to string together some days before we put him into a playoff game, but he's getting better.
You guys did contact work today, right?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.